You need to be a little more into this meeting than you were the morning. I can read.
I left it on.
We're on camera. I can read that. All over your face.
I was with altogether 14 years in Dallas. Yeah. I started with Dallas Police Department in 1974, December of 1974. It was a good department. Yes, absolutely. And then in '79, I went down to the county as a district attorney.
Wonderful.
Spent 10 years there. I spent 4 years. I spent 11 years. And then a prosecutor was appointed a district judge, and I had worked for that prosecutor, so he brought me down as his administrator. And so I spent I spent 16 years down in the courts. So
Keep me straight. There's a whole lot in here.
what was his name? I bet I know him. Yeah. 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 Yeah, I bet I would. I bet I know him. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Slow down. Slow down. What we need to say is just slow down.
Like they say, breathe.
Yeah.
I knew the first time I thought you were in trouble with that.
Morning. Thank you for being here. As we stand, we'll be led in a word of prayer by Commissioner Pearson. But we lost a dear friend and a great man, Judge Wolf from Range County. Worked with him. I'm just a top-notch guy. So as we stand, I would like to just have a moment of silence in honor of Judge Wolf, and then we'll be led in a word of prayer by Commissioner Pearson. If you'll stand.
Our God and our Father in heaven, we pause and we have a moment of silence for Judge Wolf over in Range County, but we ask that you forgive us, Father, because many times we're way too silent. So we want to boastfully say we're grateful that we had the honor to know this gentleman, and we're grateful that he had the privilege and Range County had the privilege for him to serve in the capacity that he did. We pray your blessings on his family as they mourn his loss and his friends, and we pray that you comfort them. We're so grateful to you, our Father in heaven, for your Holy Spirit. And as this court meets today, we pray that your Holy Spirit is here with us and it guides us through the decisions that we make that affect the residents of Zandt County. We're so grateful to you for the county that we live in, the state that we live in, and the nation that we live in. We're also sorrowful, Father, that our nation has drifted away from you, and that is part of our fault because we've been silent and we should not have. But now we're repenting. I pray that we repent as a nation and we get close to you, Father. That's the only way this nation will ever be great again, is through your blessings. We always thank you as we bow our heads for the blessings that we have through Jesus Christ, our Savior. I pray that we dwell on those blessings and we do the things that are right in your sight. All these things we pray in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. I call to order the regular session meeting for the Vanzant County Commissioners Court, Wednesday, September the 1st, 2021. 9:05 a.m. Announced quorum is established with all members of the court present. Minutes are not ready for the August 18th. There'll be no action. Is there a motion to table item number 2? Got a motion by Commissioner West, second by Commissioner Melton. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item number 3, discuss and consider approval of county bills for payment as submitted.
So move, Pearson.
Got a motion by Commissioner Pearson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner LaPrade. Any questions about the bills that's submitted for payment? Being none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item number 4, discuss and consider ratifying the county bills for payment.
So moved. Second.
Okay, got a motion by Commissioner West, second by Commissioner Melton to ratify the county bills that's been submitted. Any questions or discussion? Any questions for Kenny? Being none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item number 5, general business. Is there any general business we need to be made aware of?
Judge,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to take a moment to do some recognitions. We
Okay.
started working on County Road 1110 in Fruitvale, also on Lawrence Springs Road off Highway 80. We've received a lot of compliments on the road, so I'd like to first give recognition to my crew for their teamwork and experience in putting it down good. Secondly, I'd like to give recognition to my predecessor, former Commissioner Brandon Brown. He assigned that road under a grant they had received. And that grant funding is what's made it available to start on that road. The grant had a limited amount of time to get it in. He wasn't able to start last summer, so I started this summer. I'm gonna get about 2 miles of it in this budget, and I'll get the other 3 next budget. Furthermore, I'd like to thank Commissioner Melton. He spearheaded this grant, getting it in place and overseeing it happen. And for all those people who wouldn't be able to have got this road done, we take care of the citizens like this.
Thank you, Brent. Any other general business? You know, today is, I feel like, one of the most important commissioner court meetings of the year. We'll be talking about the tax rate, set the tax rate, budget. You know, I tell everybody, and everybody, it's pretty well known that next year will be my last year. Dale Hansen's retiring. Tomorrow will be his last day on TV. And I don't know if you've ever watched Dale Hansen Unplugged. I said, I want to come unplugged one time before I leave. And so, but overall, that's tax stuff and the commissioners have worked very hard on this stuff, the tax rate, the budget. So we start back in April going through this stuff. And then we start our budget hearings the 1st of June, and we finally come to the meetings today. And I want to thank you commissioners, Sandy. You know, I've had people watch later on YouTube and they said, it seems like Sandy's the glue that holds everything together. I said, she is. So we give her the credit. And it's just, you can't do it without everybody. And I thank you commissioners and the hard work. I know you don't get the credit you're due, but I appreciate the willingness to work together as we have. Any other general business? Any announcements? No announcements, Dan? Not today. Okay. We'll move to public comments. We do have one that signed up, Ronnie Jones. He would like to speak on item number 7, 8, and 9. Mr. Jones, if you'd like to speak, step up here. We hadn't heard from you in a while. 3 minutes. Mr. Jones has 3 minutes to speak.
On each item.
Yeah, no, 3 minutes total.
You fix and get the talk on that.
There's 30 seconds.
2 more sheets. Okay. If you look at where we've been, where we are, and where we're going, and I'm going to relate back basically 5 years, maybe even longer. We had a 3-cent increase in special road tax because we were going broke. But we ended up that year with $864,000 to the good. We weren't going broke, but we had to have more money. Not we, the taxpayers. We, the taxpayers, need more money, but we don't get to do this. We don't get all taxpayers to give us money to talk to you about it. This year you come up and you lower the taxes, the tax rate, basically 6 cents a hundred, going from 58 to 52, which means if you take that 3 cents out, which we never should have had to begin with, then it's really a 5-cent decrease, but we're going up 9% on land values. So you're still having a tax increase, which don't make a whole lot of sense. And I probably should have been in the prior meetings to go through all of this stuff, which I normally am, but I didn't because I was really PO'd at the whole process. Because we tend to forget about where we've been and what we're doing. So we really don't have a decrease in the rate. We've still got an increase in taxes. And that excludes the $1 million basically we have because of new property and reduction in frozen taxes. People die, they go away, so they lose that privilege. And the taxes are supposed to go back up. There's 2 parcels of land that I know of that the people died 5 years ago and they're still under ag exemption under that guy's name. And that never should have happened. And it shouldn't be happening. That's where you need to correct stuff. But I just don't think that we're going where we need to be going. Yet I know y'all fought like crazy to get down to X dollars and add 6 or 8 more people that I'm not really sure we need, but y'all do. But if you talk to the people out in the field, why did they have them? Why are they getting those people? And that's the time I wasted.
Okay, we have some proclamations to be presented today. I would like to move item number 19, 20, and 21 up. So let's go to item number 19. Discuss and consider approving proclamation for War of 1812, Veteran John Meeks Day. If you'd like to address the court.
Morning.
Good morning.
My name's Carrie Wolverton, and I'm president of the Captain James Burleson chapter of the Daughters of the War of 1812. And we're honoring a War of 1812 veteran who is buried here in Banzai County. His name is John Meeks. John Meeks was born the first day of January, 1792 in Pendleton District, Anderson County, South Carolina. He was the son of Nancy Ignatius Meeks Sr. and Sarah Frances Holt Meeks. Meeks served as a private in Captain Mason's Company Cavalry, the Tennessee Militia, and as a private in Ware's 1st Regiment, East Tennessee Volunteers during the War of 1812. John Meeks was married about 1818 in Bedford County, Tennessee, to Sarah, also known as Sally Blackwell. Sarah was born in South Carolina in 1799. He and his wife, Sarah, had at least 10 children. Bless her heart. The youngest of whom, Horton Hart Meeks, is the first person who was buried in Carter Cemetery here in Banzai County. John filed of record abstract 563 in Nacogdoches 3rd, filed 2711, patent number 690. It was recorded on the 15th of February, 1858 in volume 6, containing 320 acres in Banzai County. The date of his settlement here is 1851. His son Horton Meeks resided close to his father, and they were both farmers here in Banzai County. It is believed that Sarah Blackwell Meeks is also buried in Carter Cemetery, although a stone has never been found. She also died in 1860. Sarah and John had been married 39 years. John died the 12th of September, 1863, at the age of 71, and was laid to rest in Carter Cemetery in eastern Banzai County, Texas. 158 years later, on the 12th of September, 2021, we are honoring the service of John Meeks with a grave marking ceremony. We request that the commissioners issue a proclamation declaring the 12th of September, 2021 as War of 1812 Patriot John Meeks Day.
Did you want to read the proclamation?
I don't have it. Do you want
Okay,
to?
I do have. Here, I'll give you this. That's gonna be the one we give you.
Right here.
You want me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Whereas the War of 1812, known as the Second War for American Independence, was fought on land and sea from the 18th of June, 1812 to the 17th of February, 1815. And whereas the sacrifices by sailors, soldiers, and citizens who served in the War of 1812 further defended the liberties previously won in the American Revolution. Whereas the veterans of the War of 1812 were among the first settlers of Texas, with over 150 of these veterans are known to be buried here in Texas. Today, thousands of Texas citizens trace their lineage back to these patriotic settlers. Whereas John Meeks honorably served in the War of 1812 in Ware's 1st Regiment, East Tennessee Volunteers. And whereas John Meeks came to Texas, settled in Banzai County, and now lies at eternal rest in Carter Cemetery. Whereas the National Society U.S. Daughters of 1812 was founded on the 8th day of January, 1892, and for over a century has dedicated themselves to patriotism, preservation of documents and relics, and historical education.
Is there a motion to approve the proclamation? Got a motion by Commissioner Pearson. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner West to approve the proclamation. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, same sign. Now therefore, I, Don Kirkpatrick, Judge of Van Zandt County, do hereby proclaim the 12th day of September 2021 War of 1812 Patriot John Meeks Day, and hereby urge all citizens to become more knowledgeable of the role of the War of 1812 played in the history of our nation and to the benefit of the citizens of the great state of Texas. Dated September the 1st, 2021, Don Kirkpatrick. Thank you.
The War of 1812 was the real war.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's. Yeah.
It's more than a revolution.
Yeah, it's more than a revolution. Yeah.
Okay, Sherry Archer's here. She wants to a proclamation for Constitution Week. And I have that proclamation also.
Sherry Archer, the regent for the Neches River chapter, Daughters of the American Revolution here in Canton. Constitution Week was initiated by the Daughters of the American Revolution. DAR is a patriotic organization that encourages education, historic preservation. In 1955, the President General of DAR adopted a project to promote the observance of the U.S. Constitution with a Memorial Week beginning on the anniversary of the signing of the document, September 17, 1787. The DAR petitioned the U.S. Congress to declare a week of observance. Constitution Week was officially declared by President Dwight D. Eisenhower on August 2nd, 1956. The proclamation. Whereas September 17th, 2021 marks the 234th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention. And whereas it is fitting and proper to officially recognize this magnificent document and the anniversary of its creation. And whereas it is fitting and proper to officially recognize the patriotic celebration which will commemorate the occasion. And whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America, designating September 17 through 23 as Constitution Week.
Is there a motion to approve the proclamation? Motion by Commissioner West, second by Commissioner Melton. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, same sign. Now therefore, I, Dr. Patrick Van Zandt, County Judge, do hereby proclaim September the 17th through 23rd of 2021 to be Constitution Week in Van Zandt County, and ask our citizens to study the Constitution and reflect on the privilege of being an American with all the rights and responsibilities which that privilege involves. Signed the first day of September 2021. Thank you, Sherry. I do believe our Constitution, it starts off the first three words, we the people. We the people. And that's what it's designed for. I think it's under attack in the United States of America now. They want to try to redefine it, but it still stands today, just like our forefathers designed it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 21, discuss and consider approving proclamation for Star-Spangled Banner Day. And I have that proclamation also. Thank you.
These are special.
You moving in?
All right. U.S. flag, the War of 1812. In 1795, 2 stars were added to the flag, bringing the total number of stars to 15. 2 stripes were added to make a total of 15 stripes. This was the only U.S. flag to have 15 stripes. This flag flew from the 4th of July, 1795 to the 4th of July, 1818, even though 5 more states would join the Union during that time. The 15-star flag flew over Fort McHenry during the War of 1812 and inspired the writing of the national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. In 1818, Congress proclaimed that 1 star for each new state would be added to the 4th of July following the state's admission to the Union, and there would be 13 stripes representing the 13 original colonies. Well, as we all know, the Star-Spangled Banner was written by Francis Scott Key, who was born on the 1st of August, 1779, at Terra Rubra in Frederick County, Maryland. He became a successful lawyer in Maryland and Washington, D.C., served as an advisor to Andrew Jackson, and was appointed U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia from 1833 to 1841. On the 18th of June, 1812, the United States declared war on Great Britain after a series of trade disagreements. They were kidnapping our sailors. In August of 1814, British troops invaded Washington, D.C., burned the White House, the Capitol building, and the Library of Congress. Their next target was Baltimore. One of Key's friends, Dr. William Beams, was taken prisoner by the British. Key located the ship in Baltimore and secured Beams' release, but they weren't allowed to leave the ship until the next day. Key stood aboard the deck of the ship and watched the raising of Fort McHenry's large garrison flag over the ramparts at daybreak on the 14th day of September, 1814. He had witnessed Britain's 25-hour bombardment of the fort, and for Key, the raising of the American flag was a triumphant symbol of bravery and perseverance. After a day, the British were unable to destroy Fort McHenry and gave up. The image inspired Key to write about what he had seen. He penned a poem entitled The Defense of Fort McHenry, which was later set to music. The rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag stood there. Mary Pickersgill created the Star-Spangled Banner flag, and in 1931, the Star-Spangled Banner became the U.S.'s national anthem. And we are requesting that the commissioners issue a proclamation for Star-Spangled Banner Day. Would you like me to read it?
I would.
Whereas September 14th, 2021 marks the 207th anniversary of the writing of the Star-Spangled Banner by Francis Scott Key, a defining moment in the War of 1812, America's second and final war for independence. And whereas on March the 3rd, 1931, Key's immortal words were officially declared the national anthem of the United States of America by House Resolution number 14, signed into public law 823 by President Herbert Hoover. And whereas it was the site of the large 30 by 40-foot Star-Spangled Banner flag waving over Fort McHenry that directly inspired Francis Scott Key to compose the words of that anthem. And whereas the national anthem and the American flag have evolved to become the strongest symbols of the spirit and resolve of the American people over the last 2 centuries. Whereas many millions of Americans cherish and respect the currently accepted version, both words and music, of the Star-Spangled Banner, such version being the service version prepared in 1918 by the War Department for use in Army and Navy songbooks. And whereas sporting and public events begin with the singing or playing of the national anthem as a reaffirmation of patriotism and love of country.
Is there a motion to approve the proclamation? Got a motion by Commissioner West, second by Commissioner LaPrade. All in favor of approving the proclamation, say aye. Those opposed, same sign. Now therefore, the Van Zandt County Commissioners Court of Van Zandt County, Texas, do hereby proclaim September the 14th, 2021 as Star-Spangled Banner Day in Van Zandt County, and do urge all citizens to recognize and celebrate the birthday of our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. Witness September the 1st, 2021. Thank you.
Can we get your all's picture with our proclamation?
You can.
You want it to be centered, you want us to go over so that. A little bit more.
Look at it and say, we'll do it again.
Oh, good. Just make sure. Yeah, it's perfect.
Good deal.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I brought some flyers. The service for Meeks is September the 12th at 2 o'clock, and please take a flyer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move to item number 7, public hearing on the proposed tax rate. We're setting for 2021. This is, I will open up the public hearing at 9:28 a.m. And this is a public hearing. We'll cover a lot of what Mr. Jones said, and he'll have an opportunity to speak again in the public hearing. But overall, we did lower the tax rate from 9.8% from 0.580429 to 0.52347174, which is a 9.8 decrease in the tax rate. A tax rate of 0.52347174 $100 valuation has been proposed by the governing body of Zandt County. The proposed tax rate of 0.52347174 per $100 valuation. The no new revenue tax rate is 0.51348095 per $100. The voter approval tax rate is 0.52347301 per $100 valuation. The no new revenue tax rate is the tax rate for the 2021 tax year that will raise the same amount of property tax revenue for Zandt County from the same properties in both the 2020 tax year and the 2021 tax year. The voter approval rate is the highest rate that Zandt County may adopt without holding an election to seek voter approval of the rate. The proposed tax rate is greater than the no new revenue tax rate. This means that Zandt County is proposing to increase property taxes for the 2021 tax year. The proposed tax rate is not greater than the voter approval tax rate. As a result, Zandt County is not required to hold an election at which voters may accept or reject the proposed tax rate. However, you may express your support or your opposition to the proposed tax rate. And in the notice we ran, it said by contacting the county clerk of Zandt County at their offices or by attending the public hearing, which we're in right now, to the public hearing of today on the tax rate. That is the proposal. Is there anyone that would like to speak on the proposed tax rate? Mr. Jones, you may come forward, state your name, and
I'm Ronnie Jones.
Okay.
I don't represent
3
anybody
minutes.
except the public. So this don't have to deal with we, the politicians, which is what we've been following for a long time. We need to stop following what the politicians want, because y'all set the tax rate just under what people would have a chance to say yes or no. And you have that prerogative as a politician. If you don't want people's input, you should never ask for it. But I'm still given my 3 minutes to go with the other 3 minutes, so I have another 3 minutes that I can do it later. That's 7, 8, and 9. We, the people, need to do what exactly they said in the Constitution. We need a proclamation to rebel against politician inaction of tax rates, just like the Tea Party did. They finally got tired of it, but that was a federal action. We've got to start somewhere. So let's start at the state and say, no more tax increases of any kind. And I sat in budget meetings for 12 years or more. And it's always, well, we need at least 22 cents for road and bridge. It wasn't, this is what we need to have done. It's just a set figure from politicians saying that's what we need. Well, we don't really need that because right now we have stopped on a lot of roads. We are still doing it. We're still patching, but we're not building roads. Just like Chad said a while ago, his predecessor started it, he's continuing it, and hopefully next year they'll finish what they started 3 years prior to that. And I see people out looking or not doing anything that works for road and bridge. They could be doing something, mowing, cutting limbs off the roads. I've got stumps in the front of my place. I keep mine mowed, so when they mow, they don't have to mow mine at all, except where the stumps are. And those stumps have been there ever since I've been there. And that's about since 1985. I've been there since 1972. And they're still there, and I'm still mowing around them, still tearing my equipment up. And there goes that time again. So the next time I'll say
All
more.
right.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak on the tax rate, the proposed tax rate? It is a public hearing.
Yes, sir, I certainly would.
Okay,
And I apologize, but most of my stuff will be addressing Mr. Jones. He's absolutely wrong. We, the people, all had a chance to vote a few years ago on whether or not we would allow the governing body to raise taxes up to 3%, 3.5%. That was voted on by the people of the state of Texas. And the legislature down in Austin, Texas gave that. So we had the chance, Mr. Jones, to vote on that, and we voted for that you can go up to 3% and not have an election, not have another election. The election has already been held, and the people said, yes, we trust you, we trust your judgment up to 3.5%. And so that's already been done. So I have a problem with somebody saying that we, the people, don't have a chance to speak. We have spoken as a voter. I've spoken as a voter. I went and voted that day, and I gave the approval for that, just like everybody else did that voted for it. It passed. So we're doing exactly what the people asked us to do. We cannot run a government right here and not have an increase in money. Everything, somebody tell me something that's not going up every year. I challenge you to tell me what's going up. If we do not have this mere 3% increase, we will not run, Mr. Jones. It won't happen. We're every day things are going up on us. Every day we can't get something that we need to get, and we're striving to do it. And we're just about to a point where road and bridge is only going to do mitigation. All we can do, we're tied down such money. All we can do is mitigation and try to fix the problems out there. We're doing the very best we can. And I resent you calling me a politician. And if you think I'm a politician, you should not have voted for me. Then we'll address that. We'll address that later on.
okay. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on the tax rate? This is the public hearing on the proposed tax rate. Is there anyone else from the public that would like to speak? Has anyone contacted you to come in on Zoom? Okay. Anyone else that would like? Okay. Okay, if you'll step forward and
I just feel like that we're getting increases on everything in line with the tax so quickly after having voted the no new renewal. I just think that it's not fair to so many of the people that can't hardly afford the taxes as they are now.
okay, and I missed one comment in there. So quickly after we voted for what?
So quickly after we voted for no renewal.
No renewal.
No new taxes.
No new
what she
taxes.
meant.
Okay, okay, okay.
I just feel like it's too soon, and it should be looked at. Much deeper than it's being looked at now.
Okay, and what was your name?
Connie Liston.
Okay. Is there anyone else?
I'd just like to say one thing is, Mr. Jones and Miss, I'm sorry, I don't know your last name, but the main problem is your property value is going high sky. When that property value, when the appraisal district reappraises your property and it goes up, well, obviously it affects your tax rate. So that's one of your main problems is all these property people coming down and buying this property at outrageous prices, and it's going to raise your value of your property.
You may state your name.
My name is Danny Sabbath. I moved out here to California. California, we got real tired of taxes being raised because what it was doing is the values were going up and people were getting kicked out of their house because they couldn't afford these new values. We proposed Prop 13. Went throughout a lot of states. And it put a halt on that. It says, when you buy a house, whatever the value is at the time, that's what your tax on. And it limited to like 2% per year max. And the problem with the values, we got a lot of people moving out here. The tax, I think the same thing that was happening in California, happening here. And the problem with that is you're going to drive people out of their homes, which they built and all that, because these values, you keep taxing up on these values, which doesn't mean anything. So there needs to be a limit on that. And if you get more people moving in, the house values go up. They go up 20–30%. And now you get people that fix income stuff like that. What are they going to do? So I really think you guys need to look at that and put some type of limit or some restraint to keep that down, because houses values are always going up, but that doesn't mean anything. What they have the house for, they pay for, that's where you really go. That's my 2 cents.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Don, let me speak a second.
Okay. Tim?
I agree with what you just said about trying to cap it. The problem is, not this time, but in the last legislative session they had in Austin, they passed a bill. And the bill basically said that you can only raise taxes 3.5% as a county. But as a school district, you can only raise them 2.5%. But the caveat of that is, they said, the reason we're doing 2.5 to the schools is we're going to give them more money to operate on. But we'll only give them money if all of the property in the county is at the current value appraisal. In other words, the appraisal district doesn't have a choice either. They've got to get these properties to the value of the property itself, not just where you want it to be, but the value that it's selling for, or the schools don't get their money from the state. I mean, it's that simple. So we're kind of caught in the middle. They raise the appraisals and it raises your taxes. But anyway, that's
Yeah.
I was baseball commissioner in California and stuff. And I used to have to try to get baseball fields for kids. Went to schools and stuff.
Could you speak up?
Yes. Yeah. Well, my problem is out here. I go down to these sports centers and stuff like that. high schools. They have football fields that will make professional fields look sick. No reason for that. Okay? I don't, you know, yeah, I like kids to do things and stuff. But I'm California, we had none of that capability. And out here, you guys seem to go extravagant on all these sports centers and stuff. And it makes a lot of professional fields look bad. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Okay?
And I will quickly respond to that, sir. You do need to attend your school board meetings because the school board actually sets the tax rate for the school districts.
Okay, so let me know when they are.
Yeah, and I would encourage,
But I promise, I don't have any kids to go to school.
Yeah.
My kids will all.
it doesn't
Well,
matter.
I don't either.
And I
Okay.
just get from going from a state that I used to have to fight, try to get facilities for kids to play at. I go to facilities here, they got dugouts and covered and everything. I used to have to bring a pop-up to the kids.
Right.
So, it's like, they're going over without.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else like to speak in the public hearing of the proposed tax rate? And I would say I would encourage every citizen to educate yourself on the tax process. There's a lot of comments being made that, and in all fairness, it is a very complicated process in Banzai County. In Banzai County. We have absolutely nothing to do with the school districts, nothing. Appraisals are talking about. I agree with you. I own 70 acres of property. I get taxed. We don't set the appraisals here. We set the rate, the tax rate. This isn't a hearing on the appraisals. There is a Banzai County appraisal district out here that sets the appraisals. I talked to Scott Hyde, great guy. He said, we're having record protest on the appraisals that's mailed out. Record protest. But there's a lot of property being sold in Banzai County, and the property is being sold for more than what that tax appraisal is. But I hear the public say, and I agree with, doesn't really matter if I don't intend to sell it. If I don't intend to sell it, then where yet? I hear that. I hear that. We only set the tax rate. We don't do the appraisals. We're not over the school facilities. They have theirs between them and Austin. I will tell you, as Banzai County judge, I walked in here, my goal is for the citizens of Banzai County to keep the tax as low as we could. And I believe we've done a very good job. There's a reason a lot of people coming from California to the state of Texas. And they get to Texas, they're not paying the rates they were in California. Okay, and I have no problem with that. But we have worked very, very hard. We lowered the tax rate on this right here, 9.8%, lowered it. But I hear what you say, the appraisals are going up so much that it offsets what we do as a court here of setting the tax rate. Now, if we didn't lower that tax rate, you would be paying higher plus the appraisals. And I sat down with my wife and tried to explain to her. She said, it's just too complicated. I agree, but it's coming from Austin. I don't know if y'all seen the little postcards. You're gonna get to see them. I saved mine. The little postcards that just went out, and it's Senate Bill 2 in Austin. The ones down there in Austin, it's saying we are trying to protect you taxpayers of Van Zandt County. one of the requirements of Senate Bill 2 is to send that postcard out. I checked with Scott Hyde. I said, what did that cost Van Zandt County? And when you read it, it just gives you a website to go to. When you read the postcard, it gives you a website to go to that if you have questions, you can go to this website and check the taxes. $15,000 for Van Zandt County. Now that's coming from the same people in Austin that's telling you we're protecting you as property. I will tell you, don't buy into it. Educate yourself. Figure out where is this coming from? Because I will tell you, there is a push coming from Austin that they are local control. They can run Van Zandt County better from Austin than we can here. And I totally disagree. It's we the people of Van Zandt County. And I am so thankful y'all are here. I thank you for what you said. We hear you. We agree with you. You know, on some, we'll get into some of the comments later as we get into this budget. We'll get into some of that. But I hear you. I hear the citizens say, we've had enough. Our appraisals are going, we have nothing to do with the appraisals. Okay. But I will tell you, and you'll hear it later, in our budget, the employees, and so what I hear is, don't raise taxes. You shouldn't raise any more money than what you raised last year because we are suffering. But yet the health insurance for the county employees went up $130,000 this year. What do? If we don't raise any more money than we raised last year and the insurance went up 100, do we cancel the insurance on the employees of Van Zandt County? I mean, that's the issues and that you deal with. You're in the business of running a county just like you run your household. If you worked for 40 years and finally retired, did you retire making more money or was you still working for the same amount of money? Because everything through that 40 years continues to go up. I hear people say, we need our roads fixed. Our road, we can't get down. Guess what? That price of oil sand went up this year. If I keep that tax exactly what I did last year, we won't buy as much road material this year as we did last year. I mean, it's just like running a household. And I appreciate you guys. You'll never know. It's we the people. I will tell you, these guys here are doing the best and have, in my opinion, have done a great job. The sheriff's office is here. They're watching their money. But guess what? Then we just purchased 5 vehicles for the sheriff's department. They're higher than it was 5 years ago. You know, so you have to raise money and income to cover it, while in the process, we're trying to pay the debt down, and you'll get to hear that in the budget. So I thank you. Is there anyone else here that wants to speak on in the public meeting of the tax rate? It's your, okay, stand up, state your name, position.
Since I took over January 1, you know, we've seen an increase in food to feed our inmates. We've seen every month we're tracking our fuel usage, fuel prices, and putting more deputies on the street means we're out driving more miles. In addition to that, the cost of fuel has steadily gone up since January 1. And with that going up, you know, 10 cents here and 10 cents there, when you factor that in with the number of miles we're driving, the number of gallons we're using, that only translates into more dollars we're having to spend to patrol the streets. So, and we're watching those dollars. You know, we've got good batteries in our cars now, so they're not having to let the cars idle all the time. And you can ask them, I sent an email today that if your car is going to be sitting, turn it off. Because we're trying to watch every dollar we spend, because we want to make sure we use those dollars to get out here and patrol and protect you guys and be visible and proactive instead of just reactive all the time. Food in the jail. I mean, we have to manage those dollars. We got to feed those people, and we want to make sure they have a nutritious meal. That's people's family members in there. And so those costs have gone up. Utility costs have gone up. We have an aging facility there, and there's constant repairs that have to be done. So all those cost materials, if you built anything lately or purchased a house or done any remodeling, you realize that the cost of materials went sky high. We have to maintain certain things in that jail, or the jail commission comes in and they have a little fit. So we want to make sure that we're doing what we got to do, but once again, the cost just to do business has gone up. And so we can't expect the county to operate in the same amount of money they brought in last year with all these rising costs. So that's my 10 cents worth.
Okay.
15 cents now.
No, it's gonna be free. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on in the public hearing of the proposed tax rate for 2021?
Judge, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone that exercised
Absolutely.
their right to come out and speak.
That's right.
That's your right as a citizen. I'm glad we live in a country where we have that right. You could just be told, here it is. So I appreciate y'all coming out and at least having the chance to speak and make your concerns known. Also, I'd like to kind of reiterate, the appraisals are set by the appraisal district and they're working under state law. We have very little input on that. Y'all can go in and talk during the time to object to the appraisal board. They've got a little leeway to work with you, but they're still bound to the same set of laws they got to work with. It'd be great if we had the authority to make that change, but we don't. That's something we can't do. And also, like they said, with the rising cost, we've had numerous vendors in road and bridge materials that's emailed us and said they can't honor the bid they made last spring because the products got so high for them to purchase, it cost them more to buy it than what they said they'd sell it to us for. That's just the way things are going this year. And that's one reason why, yes, we cut the tax rate back. If we'd have left it up there 9.8% higher, imagine how much more taxes would be. We try to roll the tax rate back to offset some of the increase in property values, but we still got to leave a little room, like you said, to cover the insurance or cover the extra costs of materials, just so we can provide the services that y'all expect for your tax money. And once again, I appreciate y'all exercising y'all's right to come out.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak in the public hearing? Okay, we'll get ready to close it. If there's something you think, man, I wished I'd have said that. I was thinking this, here's your opportunity. And I would also like to say, thank you for your input. I mean, we hear it every day. And not only in this public meeting, we're available any other day you want to come in and sit down with us. We'll discuss it where Mr. Jones comes in, we sit down, sometimes we don't agree. But we'll certainly sit down, look at the numbers. The whole commissioner's court's open to discuss. We're not a closed group of guys. We're open, be willing to sit down and meet with you at any time. And thank you for being here. Thank you for your input. Anyone else would like to speak? Being none, we will close the public hearing on the proposed tax rate for 2021 at 9:56 a.m. The public hearing is closed. We'll move to item number 8, discuss and consider adoption of the Banzai County budget for fiscal year 2022, beginning October the 1st, 2021, and ending September the 30th of 2022. Okay, let me go over some points. And they've been comments made going back 5 years. Let me go back 7 years when I came in. Banzai County was $8.7 million in debt. I will tell you today, Banzai County is in a good financial position. It's been tough, it's been hard, but Banzai County is in a good financial position. We did lower the tax rate from 9.8%. It does not offset the appraisals, which we have nothing to do with the appraisals. We lowered it from 0.580429 to 0.523471. Our total revenue this year is $23,319,386. Our expenses is $26,477,602. Now, I will tell you, and I always want to be, this court wants to be as transparent as we can. That is not a balanced budget. Your revenue is 23 million, your expenses at 26. But what was, we got a healthy 6.5 a reserve fund. And I believe if you kept the tax rate up there, then you're just stacking more in your reserve fund. You're overtaxing the citizens. That's what I believe you're doing there. So we want to keep our reserve fund healthy in case jail standards comes in and says you're shutting the jail down. Because see, the pub, you on that, you come in there, and if jail standards, say Austin has a commission called jail standards. Your minimum standards for your jail has to be this here, or we will shut you down. If they come in and shut you down, what happens? Then you outsource all those inmates to another county, which would in turn cost you more money. So the county will pay off that $8.7 million debt this year that we walked in the last 7 years. I know it's been a priority of mine to get that debt paid off, where Vanzant County is debt free. You don't get a whole lot for your money when you're paying interest. And so we'll be paying the debt off a year early. And in April, I believe Ms. Hill, the payment comes in April. Vanzant County will be debt free. We will have completely eliminated that $8.7 million debt. This budget does give a salary increase of 5% for elected officials and employees. 5%. If anybody would like to apply to help with elections, Austin tells you all the restrictions, and it is, well, we have Tabitha McMullen representing the Vanzant County Clerk's office here. And what you have to go through as a county, you've heard them fighting in Austin over the tax stuff. What you have to go through for that right there is relentless. Yes.
They just changed it, saying that no one can work the elections if they've ever even had a Class C. So if you've ever gotten a traffic ticket, you cannot work elections.
Yeah. And so Austin keeps putting more and more and more. Their local control want to be in Austin. Mandates, unfunded mandates, because they tell you have to do this, and then they don't give you any money to do it, which affects your taxes here in Vanzant County. And then anything, yes. No. Do you want me to tackle him? Oh. Okay. Okay. So this budget here does increase 5% for the elected officials and employees, a 7% for law enforcement. If anybody would like to apply to be a deputy today, the sheriff's looking for deputies or detention officers who work in the jail. We just had, and it just started. You know what's happening nationwide as far as law enforcement. Hats off to law enforcement. I respect them, appreciate them. But we used to, when they opened it up, when they were having training and they opened up and they said, we're going to have this class, if you'd like to be a licensed peace officer, and you had to sign up as soon as they opened the sign up to get in, or you didn't get in the class. They just had one that they had to cancel the class because 2 people signed up. No one want to go into law enforcement. We are going to be in a mess in the United States of Texas, United States and in Texas. If you don't back your peace officers, and I know they make mistakes, and they need to be held accountable. We all do. We need to be held accountable. But we're coming to, it's harder and harder to find peace officers that wants to come in. So we give the law enforcement a 7%. Dallas County, I think last time I heard, they're running 1,000 officers short. Well, they can pay the most money. Anybody in Kaufman wants to drive a little ways, they can make more money working in Dallas because they're running 1,000. Anybody in Van Zandt County, if they won't drive to Kaufman County, they can, because they can make more money in Kaufman County. So we did increase law enforcement 7% increase this year. Our roads, we've discussed roads. That's a big issue in Van Zandt County. We increased the county road budget this year. They were getting, the road and bridge was getting 23% of the revenue comes in through taxes and that. They were getting 23, we bumped it to 25. That was $310,000 and $40, $310,040. With the appraisals going up and everything, road and bridge, these four guys to build your road and bridge, we increased their budget this year by $1,217,000, $1,217,601 to try to go and build new road. We've got to, we're maintaining. I've talked to each one of them and they said, you know, by getting the debt down and putting more money, we did increase their budget, and that's between all four of them. Every one of them didn't get over $1 million. That's divided between, yeah, road mileage. So we did increase the, as we stated before, employees' insurance went up approximately 130,000, went up last year, went up again this year. Health insurance goes up for your employees. And these are not employees that you can just step out there and have them up and running in 30 days. These are employees that you invest in, and it takes you may be getting comfortable in a year. But if you don't continue to raise your tax rate, then we're going to be cutting services off. It's just as simple as that. You either going to continue to raise and stay with inflation and stuff, or you're going to start eliminating some services. If you want to make a list of services you would like for us to eliminate in Van Zandt County, I'd certainly entertain a list from anybody. But that's basically, Ms. Hill, did I miss anything on that budget or anything? Is there anything the commissioners would like to say on the proposed budget? Y'all just willing to let the county judge just go out there and sing by themselves. Okay, that's pretty well a summary. Nothing is there anything, Ms. Hill, I should have mentioned or you would like to mention? That's pretty well where we're at in the 2022 budget.
There is one thing I'd like to add.
Okay.
I said it at the beginning of the budget process, and I want to say it again for everyone to hear. I want to thank this group of men here who have worked so hard to get the finances of the county under control and get us to where we're at and building a budget and taking care of our debt where we can operate. They've done a good job getting it here. I could have come in to a better group to work with.
Thank you, Chad. I would like to take a record vote on the budget. I move that the proposed Van Zandt County budget for the fiscal year 2022 be adopted. I make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, got 2 seconds. Got heard Mr. West, second by Mr. West. I'll start by calling precinct 1, Commissioner LaPrade, yay or nay?
Yay.
Commissioner Melton,
Yay.
Commissioner Pearson,
Yay.
Commissioner West.
Yay.
Okay, 4 yays. Mine is a yay. To adopt, that the proposed Van Zandt County budget for fiscal year 2022 be adopted. And there, and then Virgil's pointing out, and it's complicated. That's what it's hard. Guys, it's hard to understand. This is, we're adopting the 2022 budget. The tax rate we was talking about was the 2021 tax rate. Because they do your appraisals on January the 1st, then they send out your notices and you protest and whatever, but that you'll get your others in October once we set the rate today. That may, so we're dealing with a 2021 tax rate, 2022 budget. Okay. Was unanimous. So the proposed Van Zandt County budget for fiscal year 2022 is adopted. Discuss and consider adoption of the 2021 tax rate for Van Zandt County and order setting the tax rate. I agree with some of what was said. Whereas on the first day of September 2021, the Van Zandt County Commissioners Court convened in regular session with a meeting of the members present. And whereas the matter brought before the court was the setting of a tax rate required by Article 26.05 Texas Tax Code, this tax rate will raise more taxes for maintenance and operations than last year's tax rate. Whereas the tax rate will effectively be raised by 2% and will raise taxes for maintenance and operations on a $100,000 home by approximately $10. By that 2% being in the maintenance and operations, even though you lowered the overall tax rate. Is there any discussion on the tax rate?
Would you repeat that tax rate one more time, please?
Which one?
The one that we're thinking about adopting?
Okay. It would be a 0.52347174.
What I have wrote down.
Is that what you
I
have?
make a motion, you don't need it yet?
Yeah, we got it. We
Oh, you got it in here?
Yeah, it's gotta be
It's a
said
record- it's a
exactly.
record vote.
Yeah, it's gonna be a record vote, but it's number 9. Yeah, we're gonna, and that rate, yeah. Keep turning. One more.
I move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 0.52347174, which is effectively a 2% increase in the tax rate.
And the next one.
This tax rate includes 0.01 386344 for debt service.
That's a motion.
Motion by Pearson.
Motion by Pearson.
Second.
Second by Commissioner West. Any questions or discussion? And I might add that 0.52, that rate, that tax rate does include that debt service rate, which will pay that 8.7 debt off in April. Got a motion and a second. Call for a record vote. We'll go to Commissioner LaPrade. Yay or nay?
Yay.
Commissioner Melton?
Yay.
Commissioner Pearson?
Yay.
Commissioner West?
Yeah.
Okay. Property tax rate for 2021 is set at 0.52 347174. We also need a motion down here, that next one. Down here.
Yes, sir. You gonna do that then?
No, I don't care. I move that the property tax increase reflected in the Banzai County budget for fiscal year 2022 be ratified. LGC 111.08. Parentheses C.
Okay, is that a motion?
That's a motion.
Okay, a motion by Commissioner West. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Melton. Like to have a record vote, and I'll call for precinct 1, Commissioner LaPrade, yay or nay?
Yay.
Commissioner Melton? Yay. Commissioner Pearson?
Yay.
Commissioner West?
Yeah.
Okay. Motion carried.
Lots of hoops.
Whew, it is, and they say in Austin, they're simplifying it. Thank God they are. I don't see it that way, but the item number 10, discuss and consider Banzai County to provide a means of access to Southern software server for emergency response agencies wanting to utilize the mobile application for Southern software CAD program. Scott, did you want, or did you want to? I don't. You can.
We talked about putting a firewall with VPN access there. And getting a separate internet line, so it'll be a separate connection.
Okay. And what was the cost on that? Do you know?
The initial cost would exceed $5.
Okay.
Roughly $70 a month.
Okay. Did you have anything on that? We had a workshop on this earlier this week or last.
This week.
This week.
Well, as I said in the workshop, I think this is something that's important for our emergency responding agencies that want to utilize this. And there's a lot of information in the CAD system that can be put in by the dispatchers that your responding law enforcement agencies or any other emergency can see heads up on the display and have additional information. It's like Sheriff Henry said in a workshop, if we have a crime happening outside of Wills Point and the sheriff's deputies are dispatched and they dispatch a Wills Point police officer to help, the sheriff's officer is going to have all the information coming up on the screen as the dispatchers put it in. The Wills Point officer won't. And it's very possible the Wills Point officer might get there first, depending on where the deputy's located. So given this access, making it available to where if the Wills Point Police Department wants to buy into the Southern Software Program, this allows them to access it. And to give this access to them, I feel like it's crucial for the safety of their officers as well as ours. And that's why I put the item on here and called a workshop to discuss it.
You putting that in a formal motion?
Yes, sir. I'd like to make a motion that the county provide this service, this firewall and necessary equipment to make this access available.
Okay, got a motion by Commissioner LaPrade, second by Commissioner Melton. Any questions or discussion?
I'd like to make a comment, just to clarify to the folks in the audience and the folks listening. We have a detailed workshop on this, and this group of so-called politicians up here, we made an agreement a long time ago that for the citizens of Banzai County, we won't make any decisions and take votes in a workshop. We'll always come back to Commissioner's Court, where it's posted on agenda, where people have time, plenty of time. We post our workshops. You're always welcome to come, but we don't make a decision there. We make those decisions right here in Commissioner's Court. So a lot of things y'all aren't aware of what we discussed in the workshop, but we were all here, and so this is where we're back to let the people know of what we did in that workshop and how we're going to go.
Okay,
Increasing the budget for that next year. Increase $5,000 on the line.
I believe we'll bring that out of the contingency when we say it. We're not going to change it. The budget's already been approved. Yeah.
This is the last minute entry, or actually after the last.
Yeah. Okay.
And I would, if I could take another second, I would like for Mr. Pratt to amend his motion that we spend up to $5,000 for this firewall to protect.
Do we need to include internet line for that year?
No, that's all coming out of what we talked about the other day. It's coming out of what the cities are gonna pay on that.
We did talk about the local agreement, or we talked about in the workshop. Have to have their local agreements for each. And
Well, it's not on the agenda.
That can come later.
That'll
Yeah.
come
That
later.
can come later.
If one wants on it.
All that'll
Okay.
come later.
This is just the firewall.
This will do the firewall and the router, and have it available where they can set an internet line up into it, or do we need the internet line with, for the firewall? Sorry,
yes, they have.
so we're gonna need the internet line nonetheless. We can work that out on who pays for it, but we gotta put it in all as 1 year, I think. So we need to allow another $900 for the internet line for the year.
In the 2022.
So this would be originally $5,900 cap then.
Well, it'd be 4250 plus 9,
Yeah.
be 5150.
And is that a yearly fee on that internet? We worked all that out.
Yeah.
That's-
It's monthly,
Yeah.
but we figured it.
Okay. So the motion was the motion in second was to provide the firewall. And then it is a line also, the internet.
We'll have to include the internet line, and you said all total would be 50.
5150.
All out 5150.
In the workshop, we
Yeah.
talked about 5,000.
4250 plus 9.
That'd be the limit.
For the firewall, yeah. But,
That's what we did. Am I right? Did we just talk about the $5,000? That's what we talked about.
We can leave it at 5,000, it won't pay the whole year on the line,
okay,
but it'll get it started. So we
Okay.
get the interlocal agreements and all the rest going.
okay. So your motion is to approve the fire or means of access to Southern Ware software for emergency service agencies not to exceed $5,000.
Yes, sir. I'll agree.
Okay, that's motion. That's your
That's my
second. Okay. Any other question or discussion? Being none, all in favor, say aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item number 11, discuss and consider signing contract with signing a contract with Bates Online Auction. Sheriff, would like to address the court?
Yes, we currently use Bates Online Auctions for the sale of vehicles when we dispose of them, and we've been using them for firearms, and I'm going to defer to Deputy McLeese. She's been the ones dealing with them on the firearms, and that's what this is really all about, so.
Thank you. Good morning, gentlemen. As Sheriff said, we have utilized Renee Bates Auction Services for the last two auctions of our batch of firearms that are ready for disposal. Of course, each of these firearms goes in front of a judge in the form of a motion. Judges sign the orders to give us blessings to dispose of these firearms. As y'all know, when we started and I took over that office, we had hundreds of guns from well over 20 years back. So we're trying to clean that room out. Utilizing Renee Bates, the first step in this auction after the guns got their orders of disposal prepared is for a representative to come to the sheriff's office and very meticulously catalog each weapon, the condition, the make, the serial numbers, everything. Each firearm goes under a very stringent cataloging process before it goes on the online auction. And it takes this man hours to do 25, 30 guns. The first two times he came out and he actually provided that service to us for free, despite the fact that that's how he makes his money. And generally, he charges agencies upwards of $600 for that one-day service. Now that he's given us two auctions, which consequently each auction has brought us $3,700 and $3,800 respectively, he's asking to get paid. And he's asking, he says, I understand Banzai County and the financial situation, so instead of the $600, he's asking for $250 fee for this service. And we do have a large batch of firearms that are yet again prepared to go on the auction site, but it does come in the form of a contract.
Okay.
That's for the future. Once he did for us, our other two for free.
How long contract is it?
Some technical questions.
Oh, wow. Is it an annual?
Well, before I answer that,
I think it just be, no.
I don't, I was gonna say, I don't recall there being any kind of a time frame on
Okay.
this.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions? The sheriff or Aaron?
Make a motion, we approve the contract.
Okay, got a motion by Commissioner Melton, second by Commissioner West. Any questions, discussion? Being none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Thank you, Jim.
I just want to add, Aaron has done an awesome job of getting that evidence room straightened out, cleared out. I mean, we opened the door and literally couldn't even get in there. About a week into it, I think it was, we found a refrigerator that was running in there, maintaining evidence that had to be refrigerated. And we've got the right shelves in there now. We've got the right bins in there now. She's categorizing everything. We've been barcoding things. There's an actual chain of custody now that can be verified through electronic digital means. And the back of the sheriff's office, we had stuff back there that, I mean, we had some people that hadn't received their property in 20 years. And there was a wallet that I keep thinking about. She called this guy and said, we've got this wallet, and it was his.
It's given to him by the grandfather, but it was his.
And so we called, and I guess several family members showed up, and they were almost in tears because the grandfather made this wallet years ago and it came up missing, and they were able to get it back to him. And some that didn't seem like had a lot of value in terms of dollar amounts to us meant the world with these people. And it's been that way all along. We've been able to get people their stuff back. We've cleared out all that mess in the back. We've still got a long way to go, but this one right here is the one that we, once again, I just want to recognize her and thank her for her hard work.
Thank you, Aaron. Good. Don't go anywhere, Sheriff. Item number 12, discuss and consider extending the period of paying detention personnel overtime until December 31st, 2021.
A few months ago, y'all authorized us to, instead of banking comp time for the jail personnel, we were able to pay them time and a half for their work. So not having to wait for that money, because we are having to not require, but request them to come in additional hours than their regular work schedule to just stay staffed right now and to open the back building as much as possible. And we're fighting a battle right now with every county in East Texas. There's two big problems. Number one is everybody's short-staffed for jail personnel, including us. And the additional problem is all the jails in East Texas are full right now. I mean, we right now have one or two open beds a day. And when we check around with other counties, they're in the same situation. So having the ability to pay them overtime on their paycheck on a regular basis instead of them having to wait for it is made a difference in terms of being able to get people to come into work. So we're just asking for an extension of that time till December 31st. So that'll be an additional 3 months. We did 3 months. We're asking for 3 more months. I believe that comes out of our comp time, which is already budgeted. So it's not like it creates an additional line item or any change in the budget.
Any concern, Ms. Hill?
Spent $178,000 this year on comp time. We only budgeted $8 in the new budget.
Like I said, we're doing everything we can to hire people right now. We're going to job fairs and we're putting stuff on Facebook. We're getting ready to have a big banner made to put out in front of the sheriff's office. And so we're trying to locate people right now. I think every business and every government entity is in the same situation. No one wants to work because right now they can make more money staying home.
Any questions?
Sir,
Oh,
I put this question to our TAC HR representatives as well as Department of Labor. I think we're okay. I don't have every answer to this, so I should hear back from both today. I would say you guys are probably safe approving it. If I find out that that's not the case, then I'll immediately let you know. The only reason there would be a problem is I treat my road and bridge guys one way and I treat the law enforcement a different way. That would be the only way there would be a problem. Because if a road and bridge guy works overtime, it goes to the comp time bank. That's our policy countywide, but we made the exception because of this crisis. So as long as the Department of Labor and our HR consultant can see the reasoning behind this and allow us this, we should be okay. I will let you know if it's not the case.
okay, we can make that a motion. We can add that into the motion.
Judge, I make a motion due to the certain current situation we're in with the jail staff being short, and we're having to bring in the staff that we do have to cover all of our needs, that we make an emergency situation and pay our the overtime wages out instead of banking them at this time. We'll pay it, we'll keep it current on our checks.
Okay.
And it's contingent on if we come back and find out that we're doing something that's not correct, we'll correct that.
Okay. That's a motion by Commissioner Pearson. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner West.
There's one other comment I'd like to make.
Okay. Any questions or discussion?
I'm sorry. We're, correct me if I'm wrong, Sandy, but because of the under shortage of staffing, we have excess money in our regular line item, salary line item.
We'll have.
And so that's what we may eventually have to take money out of that to cover it.
It should all balance when it's all said and done.
Yeah. Okay. Any other question or discussion? Being none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. The sheriff's asked that no action be taken on item number 13. So we'll skip item number 13, no action taken. We'll move to item number 14, discuss and consider allowing the sheriff to accept a donation from the Calendar Lake HOA for $500 towards the purchase of a radar gun.
Yes, the Calendar Lake Property Owners Association have made a generous donation of $500 towards the purchase of a radar gun. And just to back up and give you a little more information on that, we had meetings with Calendar Lake and Hickory Hills back earlier in the year. And there's a lot of criminal activity that goes on down there, and this will enable us to make more traffic contacts out on the Farm to Market Road there. And those are the ones typically going in and out of Calendar Lake and Hickory Hills. So they have presented me with a check for $500, and I'm just asking permission to accept that.
So moved.
Got a motion by Commissioner LaPrade, second by Commissioner Melton. Any questions or discussion? Being none, all in favor, say aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Also, if there's anybody here from Calendar Lake, if they'd like to come up. Just want to get a picture with them and recognize them.
Okay. Tabitha will too. Tabitha, y'all won't come up. Y'all won't stand.
We appreciate it. I think that's the most important thing here, not about the money, but the fact that we have so much support. Thank you.
Yeah, you do that.
Oh, yeah. You know, yeah, behind that. Oh, Item number 15, discuss and consider approving Texans Feeding Texans Home Delivery Meal Grant Program matching $3,475.25 grant resolution for 2022. This is the Meals on Wheels thing that county we do it every year.
So moved.
Got a motion by Commissioner Melton. Is there a second?
Pearson, second.
Second by Commissioner Pearson. Any questions, discussion? Being none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item number 16, discuss and consider authorizing county judge to sign service agreement with Prius Inc. for the statewide automated victim notification system. It's an annual.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner West, second by Commissioner Pearson. Any questions, discussion? Being none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item number 17, discuss and consider accepting a check in the amount of $1,200 from the Elistad Company LLC for damage to Banzai County Road 2503. Virgil, I believe that's your road.
Yes, sir. They just moving a trailer, a mobile home in out there at that intersection at 2503 and 2502. They damaged the road, so I make a motion that we accept this check for $1,200 for damages.
Okay. Got a motion by Commissioner Melton, second by Commissioner LaPrade. Any questions or discussion? Being none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item number 18, discuss and consider posting 35-mile-an-hour speed limit signs on Banzai County Road 2437.
Yes, sir. This is one of the roads in precinct 2. We done a traffic study and I make a motion, we set the speed limit at 35 miles an hour on 24/7/37.
Got a motion by Commissioner Melton,
Second, Pearson.
second by Commissioner Pearson. Any questions or discussion? Being none, all in favor say aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item number 22, discuss and consider approval of fiscal year 2021 budget amendments. You have the budget amendments before you.
So moved.
Got a motion by Commissioner West. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner LaPrade. Any questions or discussion on the fiscal year 2021 budget amendments? That time of year, there's quite a few of them, and a lot of money being just moved around from one line item to another. But everybody's staying within their budgets. All in favor of approving the budget amendments, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item number 23, discuss and consider approval of July 2021 financial investment report for county treasurer to be entered into in the minutes of courts, minutes of commissioner's court. Do we have that, Kenny? Okay, because I went through my book.
Yeah,
I didn't-
we didn't need it.
I usually email it to you guys. This is one.
Yes, thank you.
So moved, Pearson.
Got a motion by Commissioner Pearson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Melton. Any questions or discussion? Being none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item number 24, discuss and consider monthly reports submitted by various office departments of county government, approval of entry for same in the court's minutes as matter of record. Today being the first day,
We have one in. 1 out of 18, not bad for the first day. So
Yeah.
we'll be okay.
Okay. That motion to approve that one report?
Yes.
Okay, got a motion by Commissioner West. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Melton. Any questions or discussion? Being none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Let me remind before we adjourn, commissioners, do not leave until y'all have signed. Yeah, I got the budget right here. Do not leave till we get y'all's signature on this, so that we can get it posted on the website. Okay, is there a motion to adjourn? Got a motion by Commissioner Pearson, second by Commissioner Melton. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We are adjourned. Here's yours. It's saying you want to get these.
Card's cool. What's your time? Oh, wow, that credit card's cool. Why didn't you use them?
Well, that's pretty good. 2 days in a row. That's especially, you don't be here 2 days in a row.
I hate to. I'm gonna be here to 5 o'clock. Yeah, I got a Zoom meeting.
Oh, my, yeah.
You do too, John.
Yeah.
I do.
No. No. One of those tabs.
So I believe in red, I'm glad to go out. I thought this was-
Yeah. I had it.
This is just in case we get out of town or something, we can buy a few.
Thank you for pointing that.
His finger helped out.
That wife. That wife. He won't do it again. Pointed that finger at that wife, and she likes the broken.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I just.
She'd do better than that.
We really shouldn't be ever using it.
That's what I don't even. I could lose it or somebody get it or something.
You better get the heck out of here. What you get with it. I'm very passionate about that.
You need to talk to the mother two about that first. No, what we found out, the interference coming on tires, actually hitting all the problems that hit worse than what it is. The city of Nacogdoches put a repeater in it. And it's pulling.
When I was with,
And they're
at
trans.
Dallas Police Department, I was assigned to Southeast, right down there on Bear Street.
Now, they're
The project was right across from the substation.
Analog, so you're not hearing voice.
It was a mess, you know, people coming in that door, all bloody, you know, because, you know, they just run across the road and it creates a
You're always
problem.
gonna hear it when you're
Yeah.
keying up and
It
opening
was
the
something else.
system. Then you're gonna hear that static in the background. Well, fortunately, August 13th, when y'all got y'all's license redone, don't know how that happened, but they reinstated with y'all as primary on all the frequencies. When they gave them theirs, they gave them a secondary non-interference. So what they will do is get with the coordinator, the FCC, and let them know, hey, we're
Yeah.
having this problem.
Well, thank you.
How do we proceed with letting them know they need the quit interfering? Originally, it was Ellis County was coming in, but they handled that back in 2003, so we're in a lot of trouble out of them. And they're fixing to go digital anyway.
Every year, 5 years.
Ellis County